Are we saying oral?
Yeah.
Is that what we're
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I feel like my neck kind of hurts now. But
Maybe we need to fix up the position.
you'll get the Theragun again.
Yeah, I heard about that.
You missed.
Oh my
It was
God.
a scene.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91 Listener Part 2. Listen, it's crazy. I thought, you know what? I forgot about the Thomas situation, and when the man them started talking about it, I realized I was pissed all over again. Okay, on several different issues. Number one, first and foremost, how we giving but not receive. How we giving but not receiving. How we giving but not receiving, and that tells me that somebody doesn't like you like that. If I've heard it said. And maybe the man can correct me. Maybe they know differently. Maybe I'll even get a few women on the panel today, actually, because this topic of Thomas is going to be, I think it's going to be an explosive one. But I've heard if a woman don't want to go down on you, but she gonna receive, she don't like you, lady. You know what I'm saying? She don't like you, lady. And then obviously the fact that she called him the B word in the bedroom. Now I was trying to find a clip for it, but I can't actually find it. But Mandan was saying the same thing, so which means I wasn't just hearing things. I heard her call him a B word in the bedroom, and I said, okay, so we're not reciprocating, and we're calling him the B word. And we're putting avocados in his mouth. I said, yeah, this ain't it. I said, this ain't it. And it looked like she was deriving pleasure from the fact that she was having that gun on his hamstrings. I said, this don't feel too good. You know what I mean? This don't feel too good. It might be a little bit, just a little bit, it's a little bit scary out here. So we're gonna have a little bit of conversation. We're gonna talk slowly about Thomas and Camille. And their situation, and we're gonna break it all the way down for you guys. All right. So I've got the Mandan with me as well. I know a couple of ladies want to join in probably as well. So I might get Elsid on board as well, because I know she definitely wants to sort out the Thomas thing. So it'll be good to hear from the ladies as well on this subject. Mandem. This topic is a tasty one. It is a tasty one. Before I let you guys go, I'm going to play a little bit more of the clip so you guys can see what we're talking about, which is that Camille and Thomas situation.
I did not take it easy on him.
I heard. So why you asking him to be assertive? It sounds like you really took those reins on.
I know.
Well, so have you shared with him, where does that dominant side of you come from?
Okay, so I want to get you guys' thoughts, because she did say she is not reciprocating the behaviors. She's not going down on him, but he's going down on her to the point his neck is broke. I want to know your thoughts on this situation and what your perspective is, because I think that's interesting for me. That's what I'm going to say. That's interesting for me. Who's willing to break open the alabaster oil and start talking about some real stuff right now? Put some perfume on this live today. Who's willing to go? Yes, Easton. And then Sean, because he was first.
I'll start it off, but I definitely want to give a shout out to Sean, because I saw him hitting the gas to get home when we were starting to talk about Thomas and Camille. So I know he's passionate, so I'm gonna make this short and sweet. But Camille, I for the past couple of weeks, I was like, oh, they're getting boring. This is great. This is perfect. But maybe to Camille, that wasn't perfect, because I was like, oh, perfect, boring. They're gonna make it all the way. I don't know whether it be just locker room talk or just chatting or even just in personal anecdotal experience. If she likes you, she will reciprocate the same effort and energy and actions as you. And to find out that my sleepy-eyed brother Thomas at the young age of 42 is getting played by this 32-year-old woman who is basically saying, like, I'm not really sure about this and I'm gonna keep this off the table. I was a little bit taken aback by that, especially when Thomas has been pretty much for the entirety of the show, he's been the least I guess noteworthy in terms of drama. Like, he really ain't done nothing that would make you think that he's a terrible potential partner or husband. He for all intents and purposes, I think I'm sure a lot of women think he's nice and handsome. He seems like he got his head on straight, has a good family, overcame a lot of obstacles. And to see that Camille isn't reciprocating the same energy and also is being a little bit domineering. I'm not here to kink shame or do any of that stuff, but it's giving me the vibe that she doesn't like the man that much. And I don't know, it doesn't take a lot of time or energy for, because I mean, what you ain't doing for me, you might be doing for somebody else. And we don't know people's past, but if you might have done something like that the first night, and with somebody else, you might take you 3 or 4 weeks or a month or a year or something like that. But I'm just saying justice for Thomas, because that man right there is going through it, not only in the bed, but she also made that man pull a hamstring. He hurt his neck, his lower back. I'm a little bit disappointed with Camille at this point.
When you said that last, I thought about Kaya's song, My Neck, My Back. That's what Thomas is doing the song, but unfortunately, Camille's not doing mic check, 1 2 1 2. And I think, listen, reciprocity is super important. And I'm just about sick and tired of Thomas giving. And now, I mean, it's a little tongue-in-cheek, no pun intended, right? But it seems like this is a metaphor for their whole relationship, because this man has had to earn her love, earn her care from the beginning of the relationship. The brother wasn't black enough, wasn't swaggy enough. Now they're getting down to the get down. And now, you know, he's doing his big one. You know what I'm saying? Showing her some oral gratification, and rightfully so. And she talking about all this other stuff she wants to do. And hey, I'm all game for that. But now you want to reserve something for a little bit later. You just haven't gotten around to it for some reciprocity. The brother just wants a little top, and you can't be reciprocal. Yes, I think Thomas is down bad. I really do think Thomas is down bad. And I need him to advocate for himself and be like, listen, Camille, you let me know when you're ready, and then I'll let you know when I'm ready to resume. Because if this is what we got to do, this is what we got to do. And lastly, don't jump on my back. Don't jump on my back, okay? That's what toddlers do. I think she's low-key just kind of like the respect she has for him. Don't jump on my back. That's it. That's all.
So y'all trying to tell me this man is showing respect by drinking the waters of the Red Sea, being nourished by his waters, and she can't even respect the rod in return? What is happening? You can't respect the rod that Moses was chained to and carried through the desert as his solid staff. What is happening right here? I don't understand.
If you go to hell, that's on you, boy, because I can't sponsor that message. But if you end up in hell, you know why. I'm just
saying, it's wild work. It's wild work. Oh my God. That thing hurt me. Like, how you, this man, Sean said most of it, this man been jumping through hoops left and right, having to prove the type of black man that he is. Then saying that he wasn't assertive enough when he pretty much been saying, all I need is permission. I'm gonna go in and handle it. I do it. Been breaking his back, pulling hamstrings in the bedroom, and expect him to run suicides the next morning. You know, doing his neck exercises. You know what I'm saying? You know, he doing it up just to find out that she not even blowing on the light pole. What's going on? What's going on here? I don't understand. And you can tell he feel a type of way about it. Because he's just like, yeah, I've been, I'm a giver. He was real. Thomas was real. Thomas got another side. I know Elsa been saying for weeks, he got a dark side. Ah! I'm like, Thomas do got another side. He's been trying to keep it in check because he's like, he wanted to say, nah, yo, my tongue is hurting right now. Okay, I've been putting in that work. Can I get some of this giving in return? Blow on it. Take it a little bit. Do something. Do something. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Yeah, just put it out there. Hold on. You open your legs up to me, but you don't want to. None of what? What? I'm sorry. Now I'm a little confused. Maybe I'm getting old because back in my day it was the other way around. Like the girls would do that before, the Red Sea part. It used to be the other way around. I don't understand these new rules, and we all know it started 10 years ago. Oh, let him be a muncher and all this. Like what is this? This is a new thing.
It's the lack of religion. I think it's the lack of religion because people used to get around the scriptures and the religious programming by doing all the extracurriculars. But now people ain't religious no more. For some people aren't, and so they like, hey, we're gonna do the reverse.
It's crazy to me. I don't understand Thomas. Man, and yes, she called him. She low key called him a bitch. And played it off in the way and she was testing him to see was he gonna say anything about it. And she immediately started laughing. When he didn't push back, what happened next? How about you just shut up? Whoa, what, bro? He's oh, what is this in my mouth? Oh, what's up? When he said, "What is our safe word?" I went, bro, I know you blindfolded, but you need to blink twice under that blindfold so we can come and save you, bro. Like, because this is nasty work, bro. You said, hey, he kept saying no. She kept beating him. It was having a good time doing it. And he said, hey, what's our safety word? And she said, now this is me put a 10 on 2. She said, there ain't no safety word, bitch. Like, nah, it was just, you ain't safe here.
Trey, your time is done. Mute yourself.
Yes, please.
Mute yourself.
Shut him all the way down. He got off the horse and started walking. But listen, I would say, that Camille said that she likes, she likes a little bit of hair pulling. And, she likes a little bit of roughness. So, I think Thomas, well, now he knows how she feels about it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say like I'm bragging, but I can't identify with Thomas's challenges, and I'm not sure, if he could do a couple subtle moves to test the waters, because Camille looked surprised when he said it. And there's a couple of things if you just want to, get that area some attention. And then, maybe just tap her on the top of the head a little bit.
This is why I want the ladies, because you guys are absolutely going to lose it.
You want to jump on my back? I'm going to tap you at the top of the head, and just wiggle your waist a little, just wiggle, just a little couple of things just to, guide her where she needs to be. And then, for guys, and I think we need to tell all guys this. I mean, I'm sure the men on the panel do what they're supposed to do, but listen, you got to tend to downstairs so that the ladies are, gonna want to be down there. It can't smell like day old gym socks, clip your hedges, and keep yourself taken care of, and I think you should be fine. Now, if she still is not receptive to feedback and a little gentle guiding, then we're going to have to renegotiate the terms, because I know for sure my joint going to be hurting, my tongue's getting stressed out, and you are not willing to reciprocate. So yeah, that's what I think.
I love that. Let me just play a little more if I get ladies to jump in. This is part of their conversation. The fact they didn't have no conversation about that is crazy work.
It's the sound,
yeah.
Koja. The sound.
Okay, let me make sure that you guys can hear it. Here we go. Sorry about that. Let me go back so you can hear it.
I would like her to return the favor.
Okay. Have y'all talked about that? You have not.
No.
Is there any apprehensions that you have to performing well? Or any questions?
No, not apprehensions. To me, that symbolizes something way deeper, or like a deeper connection from me, even like opening up. It's just.
I'll let the ladies jump in first, and then we'll address that clip. Jenny, I'll let you go first, and then El Cid can jump in. What's your thoughts? I know us boys are being a little bit silly, but what's your thoughts?
Camille is capping that. No, I'm waiting for something. You want whips and chains and him to go down on you. You don't go and you won't reciprocate. No. There's a control thing there. And I'm sorry, but Camille, I've been trying to like her every episode. I really do. But this episode here, baby girl's a drill sergeant. She's a drill sergeant in mommy moo clothes. I'm sorry to say it. I've been waiting to see the sex appeal. I've been waiting to see all of this. We get down to the dominatrix and you're jumping on his back like you want to break him. What is going on? Why he gotta be called a bitch? What? This whole scene was disturbing to me because I was really hoping to see okay, they're getting closer, they're having more intimacy, but to learn that she is receiving and being such a selfish lover was a little shocking, because you can't expect him to take the lead when you're initiating all the time. And then when it's time to do this dominatrix thing, instead of you being tied up, you tie him up and call him a bitch. Well, if he's getting called a bitch, where is the room for him to initiate? It just was all very odd to me. Thomas, he might get sick of this. I'm not even going to hold him because it is very one-sided. And I can't get over the fact that she's really sat there and said, later down the line, down what line? Which road? You want to have safe word. Oh, she don't want safe words. She just want to beat him up. I don't know if she hates him or if there's a lack of respect there, where maybe if he was a different type of guy, she wouldn't be so emboldened. But there's something there, because she told him stop acting like a bitch. He's telling her to, bring the massage gun down in its intensity. She's revving it up. Where is the enjoyment on his end? Does he ever get enjoyment, or is it just always going to be Camille receiving and Thomas making corrections to make her happy? Maybe she do need to get tapped with something on her forehead. I don't know.
I think Dr. Pia was the tap on the forehead. I think he has been tapping and she ain't been receiving the message. So Dr. Pia is like, girl. He's saying it out loud on camera. It is a problem. So yes, I appreciate the whole, thank you, Sean, for letting the gentleman know that manscaping is a necessity. that being fresh and clean is not only a ladies issue. And I'm sure if Camille has him running up and down on the hardwood, that she would expect that he would wash his, hardwood. So on the other part of it, the fact that this is the one thing that your husband has asked you and you are refusing, I'm kind of looking sideways at Camille. It seems like she gets what she wants, and Thomas has to ask and ask and ask and ask and still get nothing. See, when y'all were, and I appreciate that, Trey, when you said I've been talking about Thomas. Thomas will give. Thomas is giving his skill. Thomas is like the scene in Ray. He is constantly eating that cobbler. He is putting in the work. And Camille is just receiving. And that's what she wants. But the problem is that this is where I think the little twist happens is Thomas gonna get tired that his frown lips ain't doing what it's supposed to do to get the reciprocation, and he may turn outside the relationship to someone who is willing to reciprocate. So I hate to say it, but possibly you don't, how can they say it? You don't perform well at your position, another player will. Sorry, that's how it is. And you're only 8 weeks with this man for him to decide to stay married to you and not one time you reciprocate. Yeah. And for me to go further, Coach, I'm gonna need a members live because I have a lot to say, but this is a public forum.
I did want to add that Camille kept emphasizing how freaky she is and how much she wants to do this and that with him, but the basics, he's asking for the basics. We didn't need all of that, A to Z. He's just asking for A and maybe B. That's all, well, actually, H is what he's asking for. But for some reason, it's a big deal. And there's something there. I think it's the control. She did mention early in the conversation with Dr. Pia that it's a very masculine trait that she has, and she's trying to work on that. I don't see her working on it, but I also don't see Thomas maybe pushing back a little bit that forces her to work on it. When she called him a bitch, that was time for him to be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We can get freaky, but the bitch, that I don't see where that was a turn on or endearing, or you could have said sexy, poppy, daddy, bitch. What is happening? The whole thing seemed like she's just having fun, making fun of him. And there's nothing sexy about that. And I think Thomas is starting to realize that. And hopefully things turn out for the best, because to me, it's a little self-sabotage in there as well, because she wants a bad boy. And she gonna turn Thomas. I mean, he has a track record of cheating. So she keep playing around. He might turn into that bad boy she wants. And then all of a sudden, he's not gonna be good enough to be her husband. So in my opinion, there's some adjustment needed, and she also needs to pull it back a bit. When she mentioned she does most of the initiating, I gasped, because what? I mean, that's cute and all for the woman to initiate, but I'm gonna need my man to be pressed. And if I don't give him a chance to be pressed, what are we really doing? Like, it's great to initiate, but there's a moment where you need the guy to have a moment of wanting to pull you in, rather than you telling him get on his knees every second. Like, it just messes. There's an imbalance there, and hopefully they can work through that. But she said it's down the road, so we'll see.
Maybe that's why she's initiating, because he's like, hey, I know the work I got to put in. That's the only work.
He's tired.
That's
Poor
happening.
Boy. He's
exactly.
Tired.
That's all the work he's doing. So I think that Camille, I'm sorry, really, really sorry, but the fact that you have to initiate is another key element. Just saying.
Yes.
The fact that he's not, all over you like ice cream, I'm sorry.
Because it's unattractive how aggressive she is. She's leaning in her masculinity, and it's unattractive for most men. Of course, men want you to initiate here and there, but if every moment you're initiating, when does the guy get a moment to be in his masculinity or where he is comfortable resting in, where he gets to pull you in. There, it has to be a give and take at some point. And I think she doesn't take, like she mentioned, she wants to take her foot off the gas. She literally never takes her foot off the gas for Thomas to jump in. But on the flip side, Thomas is a little slow to act. So I don't know if he got to curse her out, which that's a little weird that he got to curse her out for her to get, you know, in check or in line. That is an avenue that I think is weird, but based off of her behavior, I think she would like that.
I wonder if Camille doesn't realize the power she would have if she did do what Thomas is asking. I mean,
right.
I'm sorry. Fellas, tell me if I'm incorrect. If Thomas is asking and she refuses when she actually does, come on now.
Make my toes
The
pop.
power she will hold in the position and after the position will be enormous.
I'm folding like a lawn chair. Folding. What you want me to buy, baby? What you want me to buy, baby?
Exactly.
What you want me to buy?
Go ahead and make my toes pop, crackle, snap, all of it. Go ahead.
Get some talons out. I hear you. No, I mean, listen, look, I definitely hear you. I think, I think, you know, goes back to the original point, Jenny, that you made as well. It is a power thing for her, Camille, that she's withholding that, you know, I think. And again, it goes back to the dynamics of their relationship, which is that she has a lot more of the power in that relationship. And, you know, it is something that she enjoys, but simultaneously resents. And that's so she wants the power because it makes her feel safe, but at the same time she wants him to take control, and it's like he can't do both. You have to either yield you have to yield the position you're in, or you're gonna stay as the dominatrix person and not be okay with him not dominating, right? But there's, because of that control, it's also eliciting some of that selfishness, right? Which is that, you know, she doesn't want to reciprocate. As you heard in that clip, for her, the only way to reciprocate is that if she's going to reciprocate, it's going to be a case of she has to be ready for that, almost in a sense. Like she's happy to open her legs, and let's go back to your point, Trey, actually, as well. But for her to go down, it takes a lot. And I think it's because, and I remember I heard a girl say this to me, that it's that position of going down on somebody is a powerful position to be in, right? But depending on how you perceive it to look like, right? So, and then depending on how you actually do it, because some people get on the knees, some people might do on the bed, depends how you do it. But if someone wants to get on their knees, that is actually a powerful position to be in. If, for instance, per se, you're the man in standing up and the woman's at that place, it's a place of submission. So depending on how she's thinking about it, she may be perceiving that in her mind as to what she is seeing as that act, is that it's a very submissive act, and it is something that she's not ready to do just yet. But it then again contravenes what she's saying, that she wants him to take control. It's like, you're going to have to release the reins for him to be able to take control, but you don't want to do that act. And I think the reason why is because the moment she does that, the floodgates are about to open. We're about to see a different Camille. I said say that in a sense of, I think that her emotions will open up so wild that you'll see I don't even say a softer, you will see a more crazier Camille, because I think she keeps her emotions locked up as a way of maintaining some level of control. The moment she releases how she really feels and lets go, we're going to see probably a different Camille that is probably not as put together. She'll become a sap. And I think that is her greatest fear, of becoming that sap. She's afraid that she might get used, taken advantage of. It's not an excuse. I'm just kind of explaining about, I think, what potentially happened. But she needs to be able to then learn how to also have balance then, so that she can also maintain her individuality, her autonomy, while simultaneously being able to play a more submissive role without actually losing herself in that role. So I definitely think there's something more to that as well, in that space as well. Yeah. Anyone else want to add? Sorry.
Yeah, well, listen, there's so many ways to execute this. So we can lay down on the bed, you know, and hey, or there's the number 6 and the number's 9. So, you know, we're helping each other out, but as long as we get to the mission, right? So there's so many different ways to try it. So if you don't want to start out on your knees, I respect that. Let's talk through it. But I need to hear what the objections are. You know, and I need Camille to, you know, she wants to be very open. She's very comfortable jumping on this man's back, throwing these massage guns around his knees and hamstrings. And, you know, putting avocados in places, tying folks up. Let's figure some ways out where we can both derive pleasure. So if lying down is where you want to start this, then hey, works out better for me. Sometimes my knees might buckle, you know, if you do a good job, my knees might buckle. So listen, let's be, you know, let's situate it and let's make it the most comfortable it can be. So
I'm gonna jump in. Hey everybody. That whole scene, honestly, I turned it on mute because I was so uncomfortable with it being discussed on international TV like this. That's just me. I don't know if Elle said she doing that for me, but I close my eyes even on kissing scenes. So yeah, that's me. But I think it's two things. I think one, she thinks so little of him. You know, I think she made an assumption about him. Oh, he's the mixed guy who's been raised around white people. So like he's just like he's not going to be able to. Well, I don't have to do that. Like I can get away with not doing that. He has what I don't like to use this word, but you know, simp behavior. So like she's literally treating him like this. I don't really think she even likes him as much, to be truthfully honest. Because I just think there's a certain way you act after, you know, they've seen your ecstasy face that we just haven't seen from her at all. So I would beg to say that she's just kind of like, it's good because she's getting off, but I don't really think long term she's gonna like him. And then the other thing is, it could be something down there that ain't right that causes her to be like, I don't want to do it. Like maybe he can be not the right size. Maybe like I don't know. Like even like again, like this is a lot. I'm a big prude in this area. I'm way more private. But I just feel like that could be it as well. But I just think, and for ladies in the chat, like I mean, you know, if you like a guy, you demonstrate that, you know, and especially if you married. So I don't know why she's holding back. I do think it's a control thing. And again, she's losing her power by like not really, you know, you make your man feel good. He's going to make sure you good, you know? And I think that Thomas could bring it even more if he was getting his pleasure as well. But ultimately, I just think she's immature, and I think that she is one of those type of people that feel like, yeah, if it's not Thomas, I'm gonna get somebody. You know, still got that young behavior of like, yeah, so many men out here, but then you realize you're 32, and then you're gonna end up 42 real quick, you know, and still trying to figure that out when you got a man like here who is workable, in my opinion. And I do think Thomas needs to speak up for himself. I think she's taking advantage of the fact that he's nice. And I always say nice is not required. And he should have been shut her down like weeks ago. So, and I think because he hasn't, she's taking advantage or capitalizing off of it. So ultimately, I'm not the biggest fan of her. I don't think she is all that she thinks she is. And she's going to lose a good guy that she can definitely work with. That's what I think.
I don't
maybe
think
so go ahead.
I was just going to say real quick, I don't think the package is the problem. I think she has a problem with the man that the package is attached to. Because especially after they did it that first week, she was giddy. So I don't think it's the issue. Because if it's something you said earlier doesn't really track, is something might be wrong with the package. I don't think so, because if something was really wrong with it, you wouldn't allow it in you in the first place. Like, whoa, that's just that don't compute for me. That don't make sense. But
for a man, that's why I asked women, because I do feel like it could be different.
That it's not going anywhere if it's not clean.
But I didn't really explain to the extent of like what could be going on. But I mean, I just know that it's not something that she's gravitating to.
Maybe his oral performance is better than his rowboat performance. Maybe that's what it is.
But
you know.
So what does that have to do with the head? Like, why he?
Because if all I'm enjoying from you is that, I'm not going to give you that enjoyment from me.
Selfish.
Right.
I got
Very
homegirls.
selfish.
I got homegirls that say the exact same thing else just said. So I've heard this talk before. I'm like, dang, but wait, you allow him to? Yeah, I mean that was okay. I was like, but you don't. What that don't make sense. I got put on game by this, so this is not foreign concept to me.
But
So I
this
kind of
reminds me
get it.
of casual sex and not ever maybe being emotionally connected to someone to have lovemaking or true intimacy in a sexual experience. It's just we effing, we having fun. We're just playing around. Therefore, it allows you to be selfish. And that's where I think the immaturity comes from because you're married. He's trying to please her, thinking it's going to be reciprocated. And she's looking like, I'm about to. Sorry, my husband is watching sports. Just
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad at it. I was like, what's going on here? I said, we got to fight somebody. We got to say Jenny.
Reach the screen.
Right.
I'm in a whole nother room. Don't mind him.
I thought she left somebody tied up back there. So hold on, he's screaming.
Jenny?
Jenny!
No
Whoa! Safe word screaming out. He's hey, you left me.
Camille doesn't like that, man. Camille doesn't like Thomas as much as she's trying. I give her the small. No, I don't even give her credit for that. I can't say Camille. She doesn't like Thomas. I thought she was doing good these past couple of weeks, but she really doesn't like Thomas. And she tried to give it a shot with the first time they were intimate. It got her giddy a little bit, but deep in the back of her mind, she was always thinking, that man ain't a chocolate brother with hoop earrings and a gold chain and a shiesty ski mask and a gun and all these other different things. Like she just doesn't like his aesthetic. And so as well put as her energy was in the fact that she tried and she was a little bit giddy, Thomas isn't doing it for her, and she's gonna get something out of it, and she doesn't care about it being reciprocal. And I think that that's what it stems down to. Is at the end of the day, she doesn't like that man. And Thomas on the flip side, I don't know if anybody watched This Is Us, but he's like Randall. He was raised with Caucasians, and he probably has a little bit more affinity, or they might like him a little bit more, but he really wants to get back to his roots. And so he likes the sister. He likes Camille. He likes her so much, but she doesn't love him back. And that's the unfortunate thing. And so maybe somebody will take Thomas in the future and love him how he should, but his eyes are shifty, like I've always said, and he might flip out on her. Hopefully not.
You know what I think though? I don't think it's so much that Thomas likes her. I just really think Thomas likes Black women, and he probably haven't really had the space to go after a Black woman without, like, again, a whole bunch of stereotypes and assumptions about him. And he probably just hasn't been in the environment or something like that. Because I mean, across X and like all these social media, you look at the comments, like the Black women they like him. I like him, and he would not be a problem if he was in the space. I don't think he would have a problem at all, but I just think he hasn't, or he probably hasn't felt comfortable. And so as a result, because she is a Black woman from Champaign, Illinois, not Chicago, because it matters. I think that he's like, yo, I'm willing to make it work because it's probably been hard out there for a brother to get the black women to really, be on him.
With his set of skills? So something else wrong. I mean, come on now.
I mean, I don't want to assume that this is the pathway to his success, that he got to be downtown all the time because just for him to be qualified to be with a Black woman, and possibly they might not even let him, how, y'all stop acting like y'all don't know how Black folks are. You get around, all the white jokes start coming out. Oh, you talk funny, you this, you that, like, look how you dress. So, like, come on, that's annoying. I can imagine if he was in a space like that, for real, how annoying and uncomfortable that will be.
I mean,
But
what we can't forget, he was adopted, so he got put. Him and his brother got put in a certain demographic, in certain neighborhoods that he grew up in. He had no choice of that. You know, it's just how he grew up.
regardless of that fact, I think his ex is black. I think he has an affinity, and he that's what he likes. He has a preference, and that's perfectly fine. I think the fundamental issue with him dating and what we might see online is just the fact that, you know, in theory, all these people love Thomas, they like Alan, but there's a reason why he's where he's at. Like, I'm not saying that it's his fault. I don't think that a lot of great people, like, not saying that anybody, if your love, the direction of your love and your relationships goes linearly. It might be a little bumps and bruises, ups and downs and stuff like that. But I think that he's looking for a very specific thing, and he couldn't find it. So he went on the show for very specific reasons. He wants a black wife that meets these criteria, and he's going to use 3 random people to help him find that. And he couldn't find that in his surrounding areas or online or on Hinge or Tinder or whatever it may be. And so I like how we say, like, oh, well, all the people online say they would like them, but I also think there's a lot of cap behind it. You'd be like, yeah, I love me a Thomas, I love me a Alan, and then once you get one, then you ain't treating them the same way as what you're saying online. But hey, that's me.
You getting the bumps and bruises from Camille right now.
Hardworking man.
She's pretty rough in general. Like, I mean, from the basketball game to like the what she says she wants, and I mean, if she's saying all of that on international TV, I can imagine what she's morphing into when she's not on camera. But she just seems really rough, and I think she could benefit from being softer. And I just don't think that Thomas speaks up for himself enough. I think that, like, there just needs to be more conversations where he's like really honest about like what he wants to give her, and like how she needs to calm down to allow herself to receive even more than what she's getting. And then that he, you know, that like a part of this partnership, like, I want to get this back, because I know if this was the other way around, I'm not saying yeah on decision day. Like, I'm not playing these games. So like, I'm not a child. So you can go somewhere else with that, just not here.
Gentlemen, if this were you in Thomas's shoes, this is the one thing you're asking your wife. I mean, is the marriage going to go past 8 weeks?
Are we talking about the show, or are we talking about real life?
Well, both, Easton, answer it, because I'm thinking it ain't going past the show and it ain't going past real life.
We're supposed to take this as real life, so the answer is no. But then again, we're not Thomas as well, so Thomas, I don't think I'd be in this position in the first place. But that's just me.
I like to think that we are a little bit, I guess, less aware and dumber than we like to think we are. And so I think maybe I'll just be honest, probably step out. I mean, I guess this is a textbook example of like why people be stepping out sometimes. Some people, they aren't pleased sexually. I'm gonna just be honest and truthful. As unfortunate as it is, as non-politically correct as it is, this is a textbook example of why people be stepping out and doing stuff. And I can see why. I'm not saying this is exactly why Thomas stepped out the first time, but I do know of scenarios where maybe the man or the woman wasn't, you know, they didn't get the reciprocal I guess features done to them, and so now they step out and they found somebody who will do that for them without without thinking in their mind that it's going to hurt the relationship. And unfortunately, feelings get involved, and then that changes the trajectory of the marriage. But I just being honest.
So Easton, we can see how Thomas can stay in a relationship way too long, way too long, and not just end things because he's not receiving exactly what he needs. And the the hard part for me is that he is vocalizing what he needs. He's not sitting there pretending he doesn't know, or pretending she should know. He's telling her, hey, this is what I would appreciate. Thank you for the gold star, but I would like you to reciprocate. And this is what I'm asking for. And Dr. Pia should say, hey, if this ain't even, when you're horizontal, it ain't going to work vertical. I mean, truly. Is that too scandalizing, LaToya? I'm sorry.
I love the fact we got to protect LaToya ears. It's so funny.
Y'all don't even know.
Because Trey, I wanted to say something way wilder, and I'm like, LaToya, I will apologize from now. I will be saying things that will singe your eardrums and blow your hair back straight. Okay?
I'm you're fine. Right, you super grown. You do you know. But I'll offer an opinion that'll probably feel a bit risky to me, but y'all will probably laugh. A different perspective. So I haven't really dated African American men. I would probably say over a decade. I haven't dated in a few years due to some other stuff. So, but what I've heard, my friends will always say, like, yeah, you're not that type of person. You don't like to, take care of your man in that way. And I always be like, huh? But, when I reflect, I'm like, okay, maybe. But what I've been told by men, or not really men, like I think it was one man who was not of African American descent, that he didn't want me to do that because, like, in a nutshell, like he knew he wasn't gonna marry me. So I feel like that's how I've gotten away with it because none of these. I'm just telling you what the consensus is. I'm not saying. Trust me. I'm not saying this about African American men at all. It's a very different vibe, but I have definitely been on more of the receiver as opposed to having to give, because I just heard that, like, they know they weren't going to marry me. So it was like, no, now I can't say nothing else behind that. I'm just offering a perspective here. Maybe she don't want to be with this man.
I just don't think it got nothing to do with race, though, LaToya, but I hear you.
I'm being slow tonight. You got this spring.
It got nothing to do with race, baby girl.
You got this
no, not necessarily. I mean, all I'm saying is that the guys, most of the guys that I've dated in the last over decade, 10 to 15 years, have been Caribbean and Native African. And I.
That's how your people giving it up.
What?
No, I was talking to Kojo.
No, you don't have him answer something like you, but it's not a problem in Ghana. But let me move forward. Okay? I'm getting a little nervous. But all I'm saying is that is just what I heard. And so I don't know if it's true or not. I just know that I've been able to get away with it, and it ain't been a problem for me to be on the receiving line. And I just know that the common denominator is that these men were not of African American descent. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it definitely ain't that, though. I mean, it could be some reasons, but the race ain't it. The culture ain't it. That's just a choice those men made. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it ain't got nothing to do with race, culture, or ethnicity, or creed.
They've also lived in America as well, too. So this is not like
residents, continent.
They got the same anatomy. They got the same anatomy.
Dudes.
Yeah, I don't know what them dudes came from.
I think for me, when I heard it, like, it just felt like an easy out for me, because I knew I didn't want to marry them either. But I'm just telling you, I heard it, and then it kind of just, I don't know.
Hey y'all, I'm back. I did want to say what you said, LaToya. I feel like that kind of correlates with what Camille said when she was saying she dated a bunch of guys and she felt like they were, acting weird or trying to play her in a sense and not necessarily giving her their true selves. So in a way, she probably was using that as a control mechanism or a way to just make sure there's a distance. Well, I'm not going to give you everything you want because I know deep down you're not going to choose me in the long run. So that could also be another reason why she's not into oral, or I just think she likes, what is it, sadist, or she just likes to be domineering over him. But at the same time, I think she wants to be the one receiving the I don't even know the terms, child, but I think she wants to be the one receiving the abuse, and she's not giving him the opportunity.
Don't play that game with me. If you've been doing that with people in your past, and now I'm your husband, and you gonna make me wait? Oh no, not today.
Well, Easton, she has to feel safe enough for you to have control. If you know anything about that community, it has to be safety and trust. So I'm sorry, but if you're of that community, I haven't seen enough of Thomas to say he couldn't be trusted in that way, because he has a lot of self-control, but I am not in Camille's shoes.
What community?
Thomas is the safest man on televisions right now. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
is it because he's biracial?
Not that kind of safe.
Not that kind of father.
Yes, Jenny. Yes.
But he has a black father. She's the one with the white mother, but he has a black father, and his adopted father is or was a black man. So, I mean, what is there to? I don't know. She's biracial.
Sean, I was saying S&M community. Okay.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, okay.
The only community doesn't come with colors. Okay, there are other communities.
He said, "Y'all stop." No, but I'm saying she wants him to be more aggressive. So I'm like, you want him to be aggressive, but you don't feel safe. Like these are sending mixed signals here. I like, you want me to choke you and be aggressive with you, pull your hair, but then, baby girl.
You have to feel safe that the person will actually respond when your safe word is said. You have to feel safe that they are in control and they understand and are aware. It's a different level of safe. It's not just his presence. It is innately. You got to trust the person to put their hand around your throat and not unalive you. There's a different level of safe.
I get you, El. I understand what you're saying, but then that leads me to think then you shouldn't be asking for those things or asking him to want to do those things in the first place. Because she's been asking for some of this stuff. Like, I want you to do this and that and third. He's like, oh, I'm down for it. I just need to know. Just give me the go ahead and I'll do it. Because, he's trying to figure out how to move and act as well. But it's going to be confusing. Then you turn around and say, well, I just don't feel unsafe. That's what Ethan is saying. You saying you want this. Okay, cool. I'm saying I'm willing to give it to you. Now we come to the moment. Now you're unsafe. This is confusement.
They're both juvenile. In what we have seen, from my perspective, is they're both juvenile in it. Yes, it may be what she wants, but she may not be able to teach him. And it may be a level of, if I teach you, then I won't be submissive to you, if that makes sense. But all of this could be worked out with a proper therapist. I'm sorry.
That's fair, and thank you for educating us, because I was confused, but how you said it made a lot of sense. Still, I'm a little upset with Camille.
I just personally think that she's going to say no. I think she's going to say, what do y'all think? Yeah, I think she's going to say no on decision day. I think she's enjoying it for what it's worth, but it don't seem like it's enough for her. And not even just whatever's happening in the bedroom, just in general. I think it's just not what she's living in, a dream world somewhere. And she is going to say no and hurt this man.
She'll say no on decision day, but guess what? He could come on over for a little while after the show. Guess what?
That's what they all do, but
I think she's logical enough to say yes. This girl is 32 and married at first sight. I mean,
that girl lives in the Lululand.
I think she might be logical to know, let me at least try a little harder with him. I don't know if they'll stay married after decision day, like for a long period of time, but I think she will at the bare minimum try. But Thomas is going to have to put a little more oomph in there for her, unfortunately. And she also needs to bring it down. she's doing a little too much and not enough at the same time.
This whole season, what have we seen Camille give of herself, sacrifice, compromise? Have we seen anything?
Absolutely not.
Camille is the type of person that if she stay with him, she's going to have a real conversation about open monogamy, because it just doesn't feel like she going to need somebody else to do that part of her life with, and then come home to this stable man.
She thinks she can do better than Thomas.
She going to call over.
She thinks she can do better than Thomas.
She does think she can do better than Thomas. She does, for sure. That's why I said Champaign, Illinois over there. Girl, okay.
It's okay. It's all right. Her and that
I've been to
her and that
Champaign.
moo gonna be.
Maybe he's warming
living it
up.
out.
Maybe he's warming up.
No, Thomas is the person you don't want to warm up because he gonna do the fool. Them eyes gonna get real shifty, and he gonna do the fool. That's the person you don't want to warm up. You want him to stay low key, mellow, calm, cool, and collected. Because once that boy them eyes start to percolate, it's over for you.
Last time he warmed up, he pulled his hamstrings.
Exactly my point. If it ain't gonna be one thing, it's gonna be another for her. And yeah, no, she needed to be partnered. Well, she's just immature, but she definitely needed to be partnered with someone at least 5 to 7 years younger.
Out of one or two things is going to happen. Either Thomas is going to be a grade A crash out, or he's going to go in the corner and cry. I'm leading to the go in the corner and cry. Probably what's going to happen. I think Issa said he's going to crash out. I don't know if it's going to be a crash out.
Sorry, I this is where I'm going to stick up for Thomas. Thomas ain't going to sit in the corner and cry. Not over this. Sorry, not at all. He going to go in the closet and rearrange his clothing, in order to get that energy out. But he ain't sitting there crying over Camille. I'm sorry. I ain't putting that on Thomas.
I mean, if Camille dumps him, his DMs are going to be flooded. Because I honestly feel like a guy like him would have been better matched with someone like MM. I think they would have been, personality-wise, I think they would have had a better match in the sense of they can communicate it through and talk it out. Camille is just too immature to be able to articulate it. She just keeps talking about swag, and let me not even get started on that because I'm looking for her own swag, so I'm gonna leave that comment.
She done told international television about Thomas's talents. You better bet his DMs are flooded. Okay.
Fire. They're gonna be on fire. I don't know. Honestly, I think MM and Camille are somewhat closer in personalities than you might think. I think he would be in the same situation if he was with MM. Somewhat.
Oh, I don't see that at all.
I'm sorry, Sean. I didn't say 100%.
Cussing him out about no guac guac. I can tell you that.
I did not say it was. Yeah, the only thing that would change, I don't think she would challenge him on his blackness or anything. She would be more accepting of him, and that would probably make a lot more things work. The only issue is she will be just as dominant as Camille is, and that's where the issue would
I
probably
don't agree. She was at that bachelorette talking about some whatever you want, husband, or however you like it, husband. MM got some. She's a boss at work. That's what she tried to tell you.
That's an act. That's an act.
I'm talking big game.
She a boss at work. That's a different energy.
The way she be calling Ike her husband, and he ain't doing nothing but giving her hell.
That's all the act.
She be treating our boy Thomas
right. MM was waiting for direction. MM was waiting for direction.
Yeah, I'm talking a good game. I like it.
No, MM was waiting for direction.
You just bumping your gums now. I'm not even listening to you. No, MM
wanted direction. Camille told everybody to shut up, stop being a bitch. That's what she's telling everybody. She said, "I've been the old sibling."
The panel is wrapped because tomorrow is where you guys can chop it up in deeper. You're about to start transferring to my other places. So, listen, I'm tired as well. I'm about to fall asleep. So, Sean, give us a little benediction. We're gonna be back tomorrow night. We'll do a full panel, 8 p.m. EST. We'll get you guys chopping it up about all the couples.
All right. Well, listen, we had a spirited conversation. I think this is a topic that we're all on the same page on. Justice for Thomas. And I think, Thomas, if you're watching, we have advocated for you, our brother. Now the next steps are advocate for yourself. You know, relationships should be balanced. It's not always going to be 50-50, but there should be some balance. There should be reciprocity. And if you're not getting that in your relationship, adjust the formula. And if you're still not getting it, exit stage left. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Sean. I appreciate this. Listen, you know, it's always an interesting conversation. You know, and Thomas and Camille, I'm sure, gonna rough up some more feathers as well. So join us tomorrow, 8 p.m. EST. We'll be back here again, chopping it up about Married at First Sight in full. So you're gonna hear them definitely go a little bit deeper as well with these particular shows as well. So if you want to join the panel, make sure you come early, and we can potentially get some of you on that panel for the conversation. But it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to hear some of your views on Thomas and Camille and Madison and Alan and David and Michelle and Juan and Carla. So tomorrow we're definitely going to have that chat and conversation. So make sure you turn up nice, bright and early, you guys, full of energy and full of vibes. Okay. All right. Listen, we're going to love you. We're going to leave you. Okay. All right. I'm sure the guys will chop it up behind the scenes as well. So we'll see you again tomorrow night for another enthralling conversation. Ta-ra, ta-ra. Goodbye. Little black book, you know what time it is. 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 Time it is.
The way y'all ate me up.